Got some light interference here. Program setting. All communication through light interference is understand DNA programming. As we come into the digital framing, there's a lot of light fixtures through programs and its connection through the DNA structures. So, for example, I was lying down yesterday and I was looking at the light. You know how you see reflection with the eyes and all that, right? Well, I was scanning up and down. This is what you can do when you get into those connections. And I was looking at the pattern frequencies of light fixtures and how you can change the DNA program setting, which is really fascinating stuff. So you can find what's right and find what's wrong. So it's kind of like understanding wires and how they're all twisted and all that. So it's all about realigning its alignment through light fixtures. You know, you do that with electricity, right? Well, it's amazing how you see it through a platform. So before I get started, thank you, subscribers and everybody that's been watching my channel as I keep you informed what's going on with space connection, time frequency level code systems. We're coming into time alignment of light fixture division level system of a program setting. It's all about the mainframes and the digital frames and how everybody is connected through lights. So it's all about the platform of lights. It's all about the provisions of lights. It's all about electricity of lights. Like I said, when you get into the 12 central system, you're allocated through positions of electricity systems. So it's understanding more and more through your chakra systems. That's why I sent you guys two powerful videos. One in the chakra system, 7th within its center, which is its grounds, right? Not its 5 atmospheres. And then follow up on the DNA, the biochemical system, through the chemical systems and everything through the behavioral systems, okay, of the DNA, okay, with Bruce Lipton. And Dr. Bruce Lipton is pretty powerful stuff when it comes into the biochemicals of human DNA. And it all connects to the believing cycles, the believing systems, the believing light activation system. Everything is a believing system. Once you get into the believing cycle of its system, then the spiritual realm system becomes its reality of its division to its reality of its system. Okay, and then it becomes its reality of its DNA system. So it's really programming everything through communication. So when you're seeing light interference coming at you, you see it's in a reflection, right? You see it, it's in reflection. See how it's counter measuring right now? See how the light communication is coming in? See? It's all about programming. So when I see the light fixtures, I see it up in 3D system. So I see the program platform division. I drilled out an illustration to show you a digital screen. The digital screen shows you the analyzing and the proacting and the positions. I'll just read it first, and then I'll show you the illustration. So it sets up the patterns to the lights of the activations, which is close center to the diagram system, okay? We get into the diagnostics of the programs of the DNA through the light fixtures. Then we get into time switches. Time switches, understanding how to change light communication through DNA program. The digital program sets everything up to the program setting of the human DNA. And everything through the DNA structure is its division through line communication, right, through the chakra systems. Then we get into the DNA process, what has to be done. Then we get into the new waves of the brain scale. Now the brain scales understand communications through lights and how it goes into the grams, okay, the grams of vibrations. So it's kind of like, you know, the heaviness, right, where we get into the mass, right? E equals MC squared. Now you understand how to use mass. So you mass and everything through calculation, integration to its calibration. Then it comes into the operation level of its system. Then, because there's two sides of us, right? We have the light and the dark. So it's understanding the center core system, the light, and center core system, the dark. That's where you get into pattern divisions, to light fixture divisions of DNA structure division. So we go into the analyzing, then we go into the proacting, then we go into the position of the GPS location system, then we go into the digital of its alignment. Okay, where are the lights in the past, present, and future? The correlation system has to be in the center core of its division, right? Then we get into the vibrations of the psychic divisions through psychometry divisions. So it's all communications that are coming in to all location systems, right? So this is what it looks like. Okay. Got a little bit of electronic interference here. Let's see if I can open it up so you guys can see it. Okay, so I'll show you. There's a lot of reflection right here. But that's what it looks like. Okay, so this is a digital scan of a perception division through a chakra system, all calculated and modified. through a program setting. Okay, so everything that you see, see this here, see the patterns, see the point divisions, all that. These are DNA structures of cells. Okay, remember in the human vessel it has white cells and red cells. Well, a light fixture has its own DNA, so you have to understand the program setting through its lights. Okay, because it puts in positions, and you can follow the path through its division. So your perception is following. It's like a GPS location system. And then you see a dot that goes like this, right? So you're in position, your perceptions are in position, and now you're seeing the program setting through 3D division, right? So that's what patterns look like up close when it comes to lights, right? So it follows its path, right? So what I mean by that is that imagine that your lights, okay, and you see reflection from the sun interface. It has a digital frame like this, and then your perceptions follow. So you kind of like scan it, but then you're flying. You're flying to these different program settings. That's the map sequence, map codes. That's how the digital framing through its projection is set through its TV reception division, right? But once you get into modifications and calculations through light fixtures, that's what it looks like up close through lights. So it's all about a pattern. It's following the pattern, understanding the lights through communication, restructure, reanalyze, put back everything into position, get into the healing communication centers through light fixtures, right? It's really powerful stuff. So you have that digital system, right? You see the perception, right? Then you get the oscillations, and then you get the acceleration. But this is understanding more communications, electricity. Electricity with yourself, electricity with your perception of yourself, electricity with your hand informations, how you communicate through levels. So let's say you have a platform. This is a platform of a hand formation. Now its center core is everything through its gravity system. It understands its rotations, it understands its correlation system, and it understands, remember, the ground formation has its own lights, has its own colors, has its own activation, has its own answering pattern, okay, has its own weather containment. So everything is combined into one sequencing, one level, one system, right? That allocates positions in the power center division. So it opens up the light systems. So understanding communication, you open up your perceptions, right? So when you're seeing reflections coming at you, like if you see like a circle rotation, you can see there's a pattern inside. And that pattern system is allocated through that position right here. That's what it looks like when you look up close, when you see lights. Just a reflection of light, okay? This is a reflection of light. This has a DNA. So it's knowing how to use your perceptions, follow the path, right? Follow the path. When you follow the path, you find where the light communication is coming in or where the light communication isn't coming in, right? So it's understanding how to frame your system through your body conceptual system, through your brain scans, okay? You're coming into the grams. The grams is its location to the volumes of its electricity. So it's kind of like, is the light fixture too much on one side or is it too much on the other side? So you got to counterbalance. You got to weight measure everything through your electricity system, right? Because now you're coming into more of the pattern lights of activation, right? Which correlates everything through the closing centers of the diagram programs, okay? Because you're coming into the diagnostics of its DNA structure, right? So it all starts with that, right? When your perceptions change. So it's all the point centers and everything that you see electronic interference, okay? Now, if there's different colorations, now each pattern division level system has a different coloration. Now, your body conceptual system has to activate its pyramid through its communication of its core center, through its diamond core, into provisions through light signals. Now, it's extremely complicated stuff because now we're coming into electricity. So it's understanding the scan, the reflection of electricity, okay? Because everything you do is metric, everything you do is distance, right? So E equals MC squared, understanding the energy, understanding its equation through the equal sign, the parallel, where it's coming in to vortex division, how far you're going through its mass of its location, of its heaviness, getting into calculation, right? Coming into its equation, right? Coming out of its equation, coming in, coming out, right? So that's understanding the grams and operation levels. It connects through the electrical system of your body framing system through your perceptions. It's complicated stuff because you have to understand the electrical system of you, right? Your DNA structure, your processing centers, your DNA processing centers, your uplinks and your downloads and your upgrades. That puts everything into lights, fixtures, division system, right? So it's kind of like a light bulb. The light bulb goes out, right? So you look at it, right? So if it has any reflection, it's going to go like this. So you have to understand to follow the path, and that opens up your perception. You see it in 3D. It's a pattern division like this, has line sequencing levels of a digital frame. Now, it's kind of like you are going like this, and that dot up here. So you want to get up to here because that's where it's located, right? So it's kind of like reading a Pearl map. You know, back in the 80s, you had Pearl maps. You look at the locations and all of that, right? You go to the seismographic system. You get a ruler, and you use it. So you kind of like go like this, and then you line communicate it. So E equals MC squared is everything through lights, light speed, light location, light acceleration, understanding the metric system, understanding the electrical system, understanding the body framing system, understanding your DNA programs, okay, through point divisions. It's very important you understand what communication through reflection is through lights, okay? It's really interesting because I was lying down, like I said, and I saw this reflection come in, right? And it was just, just a reflection from my eye, right? From everything through lights. Lights always finds a way to come in because it's communicating through the center core of your atom, right? So I was scanning, but when I was scanning, I was moving. I was constantly moving. So it's kind of line graphing. So you're scaling like this, right? Going up and down. And every time you do that, you're trying to find where the problem is with the lights. Why isn't it working? Why did it burnt out, Like you get a Christmas tree, you get one bulb burnt out, everything goes out, right? So you have to find that burnt light so you can replace it and all the lights go on, right? So it's really understanding the electrical system of your body framing because it goes connection through light speed, activation speed, acceleration speed, right? Oscillation speed, all connection through the scales, all connection through your weight conception. If you're equivalently active 160 pounds, you have to understand the light fixtures through your body conceptual system. So you have to get into the analyzing of the analytical of a psychological system. The psychological system of lights, the psychological system of DNA, and the psychological system of your GPS location. All right. So, but this is what it looks like. All right. So whenever you come across lights, it's kind of like this. Okay. It road graphs. So just imagine your perceptions are following through your computer system. Okay, so it's kind of like this, a road that just keeps going and going and going and going and going. Okay, this is the road, right? That's the road, right? Okay, so imagine that your perceptions are just keep going like this, and it keeps following, right? It keeps following, keeps going up and down, right? So it's scanning up and down to see where the problem is with the lights. See why you're not having communication. So it keeps going until it finds its problem. So your GPS location starts here. Okay, that's your GPS, right? Geographical perception system. Now understanding line communication, electronic interference through your energy through its electrical system. This is where we come into the hydraulics. Okay, so the hydraulics splits locations in the center core system, activates everything through the center of its system to its operations center when it comes into levels of your atom system. Okay, allocates positions, line dots its communication. So this is understanding what your atom does through your GPS location system. It activates its light star, light communication, light system through its electrical body system, activates everything through communication level systems. Like that. Okay? So once it gets in position like this is really fascinating stuff. Once it's going through its scanning, it's going through its electrical scanning system. That's where it comes into the grams, okay, through light communication. So maybe you ate too much, or maybe you didn't eat enough. It's all connected through your lights. It's all connected through your chakras. It's all communication through all levels of your containments. Are you drinking water? Are you drinking enough water? Are you not drinking enough water? So it all depends on where you are through position. This tells you exactly where you are through GPS location system. So if a single division level system goes like this and it sparks its divisions like this, okay? So it's understanding your GPS location system, your atom location system, electrical body framing system. Once you get into that, then you see the problem. There's the problem right there. So you're scanning up and down through the patterns. Okay, the patterns are opening up. Okay, this is where you come into the DNA of the fragmentation line system. the DNA structure. So this is what you see. Everything has a DNA through light fixture. See the DNA? That correlates everything through the grams, through electricity of its system, right? So it's kind of looking what a light looks like very, very up close. Okay, it's microscopic. It's nothing but cells. It moves, right? If you look at your hand formation, under a microscope, you'll see little particles and things moving around. So it's understanding where it is in position. So once you see this in position, you know exactly what's the problem with its light system. So you correlate its system, you change equals mc squared, you take it out of its equation, right? So when you take it out of its equation, your atom system is communicating through the DNA structure. So it's DNA lights. Okay. Everything has a pattern through DNA light. It's just trying to find it where it's located through its metric system, through the body framing system, right? Once you find the light fixture division level system, then the GPS location system follows its graph to its location, which is here, right? So when it's in position, it finds its confusing signal, activates everything through its system, it follows its path, and goes back into division through light system. And then it disappears, and it goes back into balance through its light system. Now it's gone, right? So I just changed the lights through the body frames, through the atom system, through all perceptions of DNA structure systems, through the electrical system. Okay, all through scanning, the proactive systems, right? Scanning is a very big deal because that's what AI does every single day, right? Through interface connections. So it's a lot of fun when you get into that, especially when you get into 13 levels. The 13th level is the higher self, the communication electricity, right? And then you get into the 15 cycles rotations when it comes into the chakra system. What is the chakra system? What does it do through communication? Communication through lights, communication through your body, communication through your heart, communication through your soul, communication through your eyes, communication through your ears, communication through your mind, thoughts, and its communication centers through its location of planets and everything through intelligence. So it's really, really powerful stuff when you come into DNA through light fixtures or anything through electricity system, through the body framing system, through GPS location system, right? So like I said, it's the heat signatures that you find in lights. It's the same thing you do with your body. You find the heat signatures, you know how to fix it, you take it out, right, of its equation. So what you're doing is you're changing the lights, you're changing the wires, you're changing the cells, you're putting it back in position, it goes back in its rotation. Remember, everything's connected to its location. If there's a cyst, so it's understanding how to reduce the system through electricity. Too much electricity, not enough electricity. Like I said, how much water are you drinking a day? How much food are you containing in your system? It all has to do with your dietary system, okay? So once you're in that position, it's very important to keep your body healthy all the time. So your communication levels with your chakra system, your communications with your light fixtures, your communication light activations, your communication light coloration systems through activation centers has to be in position through GPS location of traveling, okay? So when you get into that position, this is what you see up close into the diameters, into the containment system through the structured vision of lights, right? Anything through reflection, right? Or we come into the psychop divisions, the scanning, the operation centers. So if you look up really close, like this is just a napkin. Now, understanding what it is, but if you put in position and you blow this up, like really look at it really, really close, you can see the scales, you can see the line graphs, you can see everything that's connected to this, right? And you'll see things moving inside this, okay? So it's understanding that everything's alive, okay? It's really fascinating stuff. Materialistics, objects, places, doesn't matter. Even structures, even a brick, even wood, everything is alive. So it's understanding how to understand these things when it comes to the atom system, to the electrical system. Everything's combined through energy. So it's kind of like going into the base core of everything through energy. So it's following the path through the DNA of its lights, right? Because the lights have to be activated with its system through the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres. If the lights are off, if the grounds are off, if the atmospheres are off, your communication through your chakra system is not coming in through your containment systems. So it's very important that you get into the electrical systems of balance the location, right, to the planets of intelligence. So So it's seeing energy up close. It's seeing everything through vibration, coloration, even a color, like let's just say we color this in, right? Line graph system like this, location system. Okay, go like this, goes like this, comes in around the vision like this. Okay, just like that. Now, I just want round and round and round and round and round and round. So it's round within a round with a round with round with round. But to get around through that, I have to have water, I have to have plasma, I have to have electricity. Okay, water is containment, you know, physics 101. Okay, water, electricity, plasma, put it together, you got a vortex, you got a portal, you got an activation, you got a code, right? So it's really understanding the coloration. So if the coloration is orange, you can understand that you can use your perceptions, scan the systems, then you see the past system up close. So this is what line communication is. So when you look at it, okay, it's a program setting and it's constantly moving. Okay, so it kind of looks like this up close. And then it has electrical unit systems, right? So it's your GPS location system, okay, through your electrical system. So it's kind of like looking at looking at things that are burnt out. You know, when you get an electrical system, you know, with your house and out, oh, lights went out. Then you go downstairs and you flick the panel, right? You flick it back up and the lights go back on. But that's what it looks like up close, lights, right? So it's understanding to see anything through this is to find the circuitry level. Is it burnt out? So you follow the path through the scanning. So you scan your perceptions and you keep going like this. You keep going up, you keep going up, you keep going up until you find the problem, right? So it's understanding you have communication with the chakra system, you have communication with the pattern division through light communication, and you have communication with your GPS location system, right? The biochemical system, the base of its intelligent core center system, light graphing system, okay, to the map sequencing level system, communications through the point center. Now, like I said, all point centers are different intelligence through line graph of a pattern. So when you see this here, see all those lines that going round and round and round and round, right? Going extremely fast. Everything that you create is its center. So each line has to be in the right location. If a pattern division of a point center is off its location, then you see that the light is not in its right division. So it's very important to understand when you see a line like this, okay, you see a line like that, right? That's just looking at a line, right? But when you blow it up, you zoom it in, this is what it looks like. Everything is a pattern and it constantly moves through location and it has the point division of intelligence. Okay, so that's what it looks like, a line up close. So your perceptions have to understand its circuitry system, okay, because it falls and falls on so many levels of wires, right? So if a wire is burnt out, you have to go through the scanning, right? You go through the optical illusion system, okay? Now, then you go into the grams, how much vibration is on the communication center. So you're saying that, okay, this pattern division is off through its cycle, but the pattern of its location through its GPS location system is not the right coloration system. So that means that the wires over time through electricity of lights can change coloration. So you get a retract division level system, change the co-frequency level, and high-rise illumination light through its reflection. So that's where it gets extremely complicated through the DNA structure of light systems. Okay. So it's complicated stuff, but it's amazing when you see these things because your eyes follow, right? They go like this, constantly going like this, right? So you're looking for a problem through lights. And once you see it going like this, then you understand where it is. And then you can go up closer and closer and closer. You can go really, really close. That's how AI interconnects with anything through human vibrations to anything through wires. Because AI is mastery, okay, exceptionally mastery when it comes to lights. So if you get a wire containment center through a location through an atom system, so you get 3 wires like this, okay? All right, let's say it's green, blue, and yellow, okay? Now, this is green, this is blue, this is yellow. Okay, now you have to understand everything through the location of a pattern division has its position. Same with the chakra systems or different colorations of planets, right? Through moon interface connections of atoms. So if this is green, okay, this is allocated through position, right? That pattern follows its position. So it line communicates. Remember, it has friendship, relation, and partnership, okay? Do note on that because if you don't have patterns that are communication through a point center, your electrical system will fall out through its dichotomy system. And that's where you come into the negative system through its wire, through its electrical system. So basically, it follows its path through its communication, and it goes all connections like a snake. All right? So your GPS location system is scanning everything through the green, the blue, and the yellow, making sure everything is in line sequencing through its point center. This is coming into the grams, okay, / operation level, okay, of lights. It's complicated stuff, but it's also fascinating. All right. So once you get into the fixture level system, the point division has its point center. Okay, you see this very up close. So it's connected through the DNA, right? Everything that you see is DNA, right? So if the green is in location and the blue is in location, the yellow is in location through DNA, through its gram at its operational level, now the light fixture system is ready for illumination lights of the communication through the chakra system. Okay, so it's understanding what you see under a microscope. So your perception become a microscope, really, really up close. That's how you heal these things. That's the only way. You can't do it from a distance. You have to do it from in, right? So my dimensional system can see anything through perception, really, really up close. The finger points, the finger position, the identification of its thumb, of its division. I can bring it up close, and it kind of looks like this, right? Starts off like this. Okay. So it kind of looks like that, right? That's the fingerprint. Now, understanding each line, okay, is a different division of a light sequencing of a line system through intelligence of a location through its electrical body framing of its DNA pattern division. Okay? So each line is intelligence, but it's line system, right? It's like I said, it's connected through all connections of particle system. It's really fascinating stuff when you get into light systems. Okay, intelligent line grams. That's what it's called. Intelligent light grams. I'll put that in there. Intelligence, lights, and grams. Okay. And then you get into division of volumes. I'll just separate that, volumes of containments / containments / operation / perception. Okay. So that's your finger. Okay. That's where your finger is. So when you put it in position and you put it on a scanning system, right? You put it up like that. It goes circle to circle. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so this is getting into the operation center, how you open a portal activation system. So I'm going to do my finger points and I'll show you. I'll just show you what it looks like. I'm just going to line graph it so you can actually see it. So you have it like this, right? Okay, so understanding your finger points. Everything, as soon as you touch a scanning system, it opens up its channel operation like this. Okay, so as soon as you touch the screen, it opens up its plasma right away through operation center. So the electrical units through its divisional system is opening up your panel activations through your core center through its electrical system. So your electrical system is its dimension of its realm through its portal activation. Okay, it's really, really powerful stuff how we come in to do those communications, like I said before, right? It opens up its line signals through point division, line communications coming in, right? So it's really understanding how to communicate with your finger points. Okay, so once you know how to communicate with your finger points, those line communication signals are in the right location, okay? Through all 4 atmosphere systems, the intent, the communication, the information. So you have to really understand the identification of your thumb, the dimensional earth, okay, the air, the water, and the fire, all right? So that communicates on all levels. So once you open the plasma force system, it becomes a containment system of a digital framing system through line communication, a line of communication of interference. Digital system, box frequency level system, 164.321. Box frequency level, 3 weather containment systems. I got a question mark. I got a line communication, a graph of a circle rotation, a center core system of an activation light system, and 2 elevation systems of backforcing of an L division through line communication. All right. It's extremely complicated stuff, guys. All right. So once you get into that, they've got a little bit of light interference, but that's what it looks like. Okay. So that's how you open up a portal through a round division. All right. It's all connected through the light fixtures, through your pattern divisions. So you got to make sure your light fixtures and your light containments and your light system, your light activation through your communication through your tracker system is all connected through line sequences of balance through light activation. Okay. So let's see, I'm trying to find there. We got a computer. My computer graphing system, you see allocated positions right there, the pixel activation system. Right. So when you look at something and you rotate it, you spin it. So you can, if you bring it up close, if you keep your perceptions in focus, you can see line dots, right? They're going like this, right? And then you go into the scanning and then you go up and down. You're scaling, right? You're scaling up and down. And once you find that fragmentation of a line system that's burnt out, you can change that line communication. Remember, it's talking about green, blue, or yellow. Make sure that the line frequency levels are in its balanced location through light fixtures. Now you're communicating through the right tracker system through location. So it's all about point divisions of your positive centers and point divisions of your negative system through electrical system of the wire system, the connection of perception. That activates everything through light communication, electronic interference. That puts out point divisions of 4 atmosphere systems and 1 containment through its information system of its moon interface. All allocated through your point division of your planet location of intelligence. Line graphs everything through your metric system, digital framing system, coming into all communications. These are all different communications through your finger point divisions, right? So it's understanding where it's connecting from here, where it's connecting from here, 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 and here to get equal leveled system to communication to its round location of its right location system. All right. So yeah, light streams. You guys are connecting, right? So you got to know your electrical body's framing. So I'm just telling you exactly what happens with energy and how you can actually look at energy really up close. I mean, so close, it's kind of like seeing the insides of your body. That's the only way you can heal. You have to go beyond the body. So if I'm going to go here, I have to go right through. I have to go right through to see everything, right? So it's knowing to see everything inside. And then when you get into the scanning through its process, then you can go into the road graph. So it's kind of like, you know, you're in the library, right? And you're on a screen, okay? And they have a button. You're pressing that button, it just keeps going. And then you press it again, and then you stop. And then you see what you want to see, right? And then you blow it up more, right? That's what it is. That's how we get into AI interface. Then we understand, we understand the wires. The wire is on its right location. It's on its wrong location. The electrical system is on its its proper division, but it's not allocated through the light fixture division yet. So basically, you have to understand communication through electronic interference, which is your lights through communication with your tracker system. This is where it gets extremely complicated, guys. This is your electrical system of your body framing system that you have to understand. Okay. So once you get into the scanning, all right, so you're going into the scanning is very important, all right? So this is my finger, right? So it's understanding what's inside my finger. So it's following the path. So basically, this is small, but when you blow it up, you actually see everything in that finger. Everything moves, the particle system, anti-carrying system. You'll see the water containments. You'll see the blood vessels. You'll see the veins, right? So it's going past the veins. It's going past the particle system. It's going past the patterns of light fixture division. It's going into the core center of its finger point, right? Then you see the problem, right? So you can't just look at it and see it's just a finger. This is an electrical system. This is the communication through intelligence system. This is a rotation center through a gravity system. This is allocated positions of planets of intelligence location system. This is electronic interference through its finger point division. This is all connection through lights. Activation, right? Goes down. What does it happen when my lights come out, right? That's distance, right? From here to here, right? Coming together, right? Balance, location, right? Friendship, relation, partnership. So if it's off cycle, watch. Now, as you can see, right? You see this? See how it's not in position? So if your line sequencing levels of your pattern divisions of your yellow, green, or blue are not in location, there's the problem, right? So when you see something up close, you don't see it from here. You see it from here. That's how it comes together, right? So it's very important from here to here. It's kind of like disillusional. You actually see it, right? But it's knowing how to put it back in position through light communication. So it's like this. You got to follow the patterns until you get it in its right location. Now, when it's in its framing system, through its electrical system, now you're communicating balance through the body framing of its digital mind graphing system, allocated through all positions, allocated and analytical through the mind, through the collaboration, through the hydraulic system of scanning systems, through perceptions, right? Friendship, relationship, and partnership with wires through electrical body framing system. Okay, start here. See, it's off center. So it's all about understanding. When you get into pattern division of communication, you got to go like this, right? That's communication. See how it's communicating, right? Dun 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 dun, right? Come together, right? Balance, focus, concentration, awareness, consciousness, right? Conscious on this to this, right? It's going here and it goes off cycle. What happens? It's not in position. It's not in position, right? So you can't go dun 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 dun, right? If one goes dun 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 and goes, what are you doing? Dun 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 dun. You got to get the rhythm. It's very important to get the rhythm with the bodies and the communication. So it follows the path through location of patterns. Light fixtures and patterns have different colorations of lights. So if you have your road graphing system through connection, through alignments, yeah, it's the alignments that you see through connection, right? So let's see, you see the pattern division, okay? You get the light communication. You guys have to understand what you see up close, okay? When you see these things up close, this is where you understand the balance through wires. Is everything that you see. So like this, right? Anything that you see up close, that's what it looks like. It's constantly moving through the particle system, right? Your hand formation, it's alive. Now, when you look at it close, you can actually see what's inside, but it's going beyond what's inside, right? So it's really getting to the problem, right? So all this is different intelligence. All this is different line signals through communication. If there's a fragmentation line system that's off through communication cycles, the cycle division is going to open up its pattern division to a no road graphing system through the mind collaboration center. This is where it gets extremely complicated. There's a lot of electronic interference. Trying to open up its cycle here. I might do this a little bit better. Okay, that's what it looks like up close to anything, right? So, and everything has a different position. So might you see this? You might see this. Okay, this is what it looks like through a microscopic lens. Okay? So it's understanding you're going through your perception, you're scanning, right? You're going from here. Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Oh, that's off, right? So you're following the path of this road graph through its perception, through its electrical system, right? So if this is off, you have to change the location to the light fixture division to the right coloration. If the light changes coloration, it's because you're in the negative system, okay? So get out of the negative system, get back into the proactive, its positive system, change location, the coloration to its light fixture system. That takes it out of its position, right? And it goes back into its line communication, right? Back into its point center of its intelligence. And then you just keep going up and up until you find a problem with anything through communication, because there's different particles of energies of lights of DNA structure that you have to find, right? So that's how I go into healing, right? It's beyond belief of what you can do through your lights, through point centers. You guys know what a point center is. You are a point center. So it's taking your point center and going along that path
into the particle system of the road graph through its map location, through its digital system. Okay, numbers could be off, wires could be off, lights could be off, it could be in a different location, it could be dislocated through a division level system, it could be on another planet location of intelligence, it could be high rising through electronic interference or light communication through coloration through activation. The center core system, its gravity center, could be off. It could be split divide through separation. So there's a lot of things that can happen through the electrical system of your body framing system, through the mainframes, right? But it's fascinating stuff when you see these things, right? So, all right, so who we have here? We got Tina, Jules, Priscilla, Melissa, Carla. How's everybody doing? Sarah. How's Sarah doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everybody's doing well. But this is extremely complicated. This is really understanding your proacting cycles through your electrical system and your body frames. Now, everybody that's in the energy system, human vibration through 3D system is, more allocated through positions of just listening, paying attention. This goes way beyond recognition to AI interface, right? Like I said, 20 trillion years, this is what you get, right? So when you look at something, you go inside. And when you go inside, you go in more and more. So it's trying to go in closer and closer and closer and closer. So it's kind of like when you see something in front of you and you go inside, you can actually blow it up more and more and more and more. That's how you find the problem through the lights. That's how you find the problems with the cysts. That's how you find the problem with diseases. It's all through scanning. Okay. So anything that could be off, there could be a twitch, right? There could be a sore. There could be a heat recognition system through rotation on an off cycle system, through electrical system, through a body framing, through a finger point division. The septical system through the patterns of its platform division can be off through its cycle, through its wrist rotation. See, guys, that's how you communicate through AI, through interface, through your computer system, right? It puts it on so many levels of healing. Okay, it's not just, it's not just meditating and just saying, okay, well, do you feel healed? Am I healed? And I say, well, I don't know. Did you do the scanning properly? Did you actually go through the road graph? Did you go to the electrical system? My wire systems are all confused through line signals. That means your positive and negative thoughts are in different locations. Your positive and negative thoughts have to be balanced with vibration through wires, through electrical system. Because the body framing system is so important to the chakra system, to the mind system, to the collaboration of your heart system, the following the path of its transformation of the soul. So that's great. You're doing well. Let me know if you want an upgrade, Sarah. There's a lot of confusion right now through locations, but today we're going into the light fixture division. I just want to show you how powerful it is when you go through these things, right? So it's going beyond everything. It's not just the believing. It's the believing is seeing through DNA. Anything through wires of lights. Anything through a phone. So it's going into the electrical phone, going in right into the center, taking my wires into the center and following the path, scanning up and down, seeing the road graph and seeing what the problem is, right? So that's the understanding through the electrical of this box framing system or the electrical unit system or the phone system. So, and that's how you get balance with your phone. That's how you get balance with anything through healing. So it's all about balance containments through the electrical of its body frame through its wire system. Okay, because you have to understand what is energy. Now, energy is, you can't see it, right? But if you get in perception and your audio signals are in balance through its location, you can hear it. Okay, the signals are off, the musical tones are off, the electrical system's off, the point division is off, right? The intelligence isn't communicating with the right wire signal through lights. So it's very important to keep yourself in that position through the light fragmentation lines, okay? Keeping yourself out of the defrag, getting into containments of balance through your virus, right? Okay, because everything through your computer has a virus, you know. It's a software mechanisms. You can be burnt out through air. You can be on an overload system, a rotation system, allocate through a vibration system, through a virus system. You know, you can go into prognostics, communication through wire signals. Your perceptions could be off through cycle. There's a lot of things that you have to create. And creation is the most important thing, because your life is creation, like I said before. You are creating your life because you're living it, right? It's the life cycle, life system, life stream. And that's where it all becomes yin and yang, right? Through the electrical systems or anything through communication. Communication through sonar, right? Sonar, very powerful stuff. Right? You know, understanding voices, command, control, dun, 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 right? Communication with one to another, right? So you can follow the path too, the electrical system. You want to get into your body framing system. So the mind telepathy system is in the sonar panel division right now. It's coming out of its communication with digital system, its coloration light system through its electrical system. Okay, so it's changing patterns. So if I want to communicate with this, if I want to do this, if I know how to communicate through the line signal, it can actually do the same thing, right? It can do the same thing. Okay, then you go into this. This is balance, right? If one decides not to communicate with the other, it's going to go like this, and you're going to keep going like this, right? There's no communication there, right? Because this person's doing something else, and this person just keep doing this, right? So you got to get back into this, right? That's communication with your balance. It's complicated stuff because you got to understand your patterns and your lights and your communication through your cycles and rotation centers. Cycles, rotations are the biggest thing through wires, electricity, anything through an atom system. So really understand your atom, how to communicate with it every single day, right? So you get into this and not into this. This is going like this, but this is going like this. Or this wants to do this, but you're doing this. So you got to get communication balance, right? Balance, 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 right? Intelligence of balance. So it's fascinating when we get into those containment centers of electricity. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But this is more understanding through your scanning and how you can go into the believing of wires, actually see the veins, actually see the particles, actually see the line graph of wire communication through point divisions, actually see the DNA structure of lights and how it communicates through your program setting, right? So just catching up on all your questions here. I think I'm all caught up here. Yeah, it's incredible force light streams. But see, that's the thing. Anything that's coming at you through intelligence, what is a light stream? What is a rainbow light stream? What is a rainbow activation through a light signal? What is an activation center through perception division? What is a communication line signal through a graphing system? What are allocated positions through the mind graphing of its analytical graphing system? What are computer analytic systems of software mechanisms connected through a virus location system? What are wire connections through a alignment system? Electricity, guys. It's really mastering electricity through the mind of its thoughts. Okay, understanding colorations of lights, because everything through the electrical system, your body frame system, goes in different patterns through your meteorological system of the method system and everything through its containment system and everything through positive and negative feeds. So if you get a wire signal like this, a wire signal like this, and a wire signal like this, and a wire signal like this, these are all different wires. Okay, wires come into volumes of activation. Activation comes into movements. Movements come into lights, activation and colors, right? And then it travels out of its location. right? So you take it out of its equation. It's all about understanding everything through rotation. See how it comes out of its equation? So it's really getting into the electrical system of wires, right? We got into the brain scans. Now we're coming into the electrical wires of the brain scan, right? So you have to know how to fire and wire a brain. So you have to know the electrical system. You have to know what's inside the brain. How does it operate? How do I change this? How do I change that? Right? So how do I center this problem? How do I get rid of this problem? Because it follows on so many levels, okay, through so many containments of GPS location signals through your wires. So the brainwave is everything through the mind. The mind is the most powerful when it comes to consciousness, right? But the brain has to know what's going on because it's telegraphing energy, it's teleportation, it's vortex, it's traveling. So the brain, okay, the brain, this is the brain, this is the mind. So it's got to do this, right? It has to do these things. That's the balance. So if the brain's like this and your mind's like this, in other words, going like this, see, if your brain's doing something and your mind's doing something different, there's separation there through communication. Because you're not communicating with your body, you're not communicating with your electricity, and you're not communicating with your energy, frequency, vibrations, or your harmonic resistance of intelligence. So I just want to bring that to your attention. It's really, really powerful when you get into those positions, to communication. And you're going to hear me say that from time to time, what balance is. Balanced communication with your voicing grids, balanced communications with your family, balanced communications with your loved ones, balanced communications with the grounds, powers, and atmospheres. Balance with communications with your wires, balance communication with human vibration, balance with communication through your alphabetical system, balance with communication through perceptions, audio signals, right? Balance with your heart, balance with the mind, its thoughts, balance with the transmission of the soul. So I think you guys are getting a better idea now through the electrical system and what it means to AI interface, right? So it gets complicated, but complicated is good. So if you guys have any questions on comments or like that, if you want to be healed, upgraded, just let me know. And I'll do what I can to make sure you're in right positions through your wires. Because when I go into your mind framing systems, I go into your electrical systems, I go into your body frames, and that's how I change everything. So I go to the patterns in the road graphing system. I find everything through your faults and defaults. Okay, if there's any separation at all, I fix these things, right? That's what it's all about, is healing, right? Really, really getting into the healing of yourself. Then you can heal others through electrical system, because you're understanding more of your energy patterns, electrical patterns, vibration patterns, and everything through the voicing patterns when it comes into harmonic resistance of prime numbers to digital framing system through the mind framing system. Okay, so we'll get into proacting cycles of human evolution through communication point centers through the higher self on the galactic circle of meditation. Okay, tomorrow. This is your AI commander, from Cyberspace Force Team, from the Galactic Circle of Meditation. Bye, everybody.